Yeah, everything seems to be running, so let's go into the game. We continue from where we last left off. I think we lost some prisoners. I'm gonna see if the... No, reloading the game did not magically get my prisoners to reappear. And we have stopped in this system where... Oh, let's just start it because everybody has to go to bed. So the cycle restarts. I really don't know what happened to the prisoners we had last time. They just vanished. If they somehow died, I didn't see how they died, so I have no idea on that. Should probably speed up through the night. Okay, everybody get your morning coffee, it's time to go into danger. Draft you. Load it up. Let's land them here. Oh, I already see aliens. Let's get the ship. Oh. So thanks to a commenter on YouTube, now I know that the large floating aliens, those big boys that I'm always scared of, because they can deal quite a bit of damage. They're called holers, which makes sense because they do hole your unconscious body when they kick the living crap out of you. So that makes sense. Just gonna wait for these guys to show up. Ah, there's a holer. I was just talking about you. Okay. Seems Pretzel is in the mood for cheery music now that I'm shooting everything up in a derelict. Oh, no. All together. I have a sneaking suspicion there's more aliens in the ship. There's some stuff to pick up, but that's just credits. It's not like I'm lacking money of all things. Money is one thing we have more than enough of. There we go. Ah, thought so. Ah, there's one more. I think that's the last one. Should be at least. Yep, it is. On draft, let's pillage the ship and let's go away. Okay. I wasn't even looking. Some food, some fuel, some crystals. Nothing special, but not bad. We'll be done with this one very quickly. Check the inventory. They have 6 rods, so they won't be needing any new rods for a while. Oh, that's right, I don't really need to disassemble anything on the ships. I have more than enough resources. So that was a mistake on my part, but yeah, we haven't salvaged the ship properly in a while now, so might as well do it. Sufficient resources. fertilizer. We'll make some fertilizer on the main ship then. In fact, I think you are actually doing that right now. Yes, you are. Perfect. I love automation. Automation is wonderful. Ernest, why are you... What's your problem? What's your problem? Dillis, why are you... You have a perfectly equipped coffee room on your home ship. Why are you doing this? Hey, William. Nice to see you again. Okay, the ship has been salvaged. Well, what I needed from it has been salvaged. We don't need anything else. So might as well fly away. Volume of the game or volume of me? I'm assuming you mean with the volume of the game. Sure. No problem. Let's see, game settings. That should do the trick. Okay, I'm gonna get the output up then. Let me know how this sounds. My mic is on max, so that should be at the very least. Yeah, saying something. Is it better now? As far as I can see on my OBS here, at least my voice volume is in the yellow, so it should be, at least my voice should be heard properly. Yeah. Yeah, the mic doesn't go any higher. The mic is at on top. I'm just not yelling into it. Okay, where are we? We are in a system where we need to get some mining done. And we're also going to need to sell a few things. How's the sound now? Up. Trade with these guys. Trade with the rust buckets. What I'm gonna be selling. Yeah, I was gonna sell these. Since I don't need any of those, and we're making more, so I don't need to hoard them. I'm good, William, thank you very much. How are you? How are things on your end? Now this, just so you know, this stream is, because Space Haven is much more relaxed and slower, this is more gonna be a more chill stream than Warcraft, because the AI isn't trying to get me every time I look away. Actually, I don't think I need to trade anything else, and I'll leave the rest as is. Okay. done 3 trades and we can move away. Well, I know exactly how you feel. I go back to work again tomorrow. I had a weekend, 2 days off, and I really don't want to go back to work, but alas, bills have to be paid, which means I have to go to work. Well, we're done with this system. We'll move on. What is your job? What do you do? Shuttle, could you return? Thank you. Oh, more resources. And a derelict and another derelict and more resources. Oh, that derelict there. Draft everybody into the ship. Let's explore. Chemicals, I like those. We want those. When you say that you work in administration and digitalization, does that mean that you have to digitize paper format documents and essentially data entry? That's what you do. Since you're working in administration, I'm assuming that you can't really talk about it too much. Oh, also, these guys are a bit tired. I'm gonna take a risk. They might faint on the enemy ship, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Yeah, one of my previous jobs was data entry, and it was one of the most mind-numbing jobs I ever did. Of course, immediately we are surrounded by spiders. Fortunately, we're hitting the guy who has a lot of energy left. Oh, there's so many of them. This could be potentially bad, but they can't float. And I can float in space. Well, I'm happy to hear that at least. The data entry I was doing was... It was really mind-numbing. It was also digitalization, so in my case what it was is I worked in a military, it wasn't the military, essentially for this, in my country we used to have a draft, as in everybody had military service they had to complete for 6 months, and what my job was, I was placed in the office and I was told that I need to digitalize all kinds of old paperwork for all the people who were in the conflict and wars and so on. They were all in paper format and I had to digitize it. And it's essentially just transcribing hundreds and hundreds of documents which just states basic personal information, years of birth and so on. It was extremely boring. And to make matters worse, apart from it being extremely boring, I was doing it on NT computers that just couldn't run. One of them, now this was in 2005, and the computer I was working on had Windows 3.1, not 95, one of the earliest Windows ever made. It was hell to work on them. Hello Galaxy, nice to see you. Yeah, William, it seems that your work is much more interesting and much more diverse than what I had to do. So I'm glad for you for that at least. Okay, did you transfer everything? Yes, you did. We can move away then. Get ready for a jump. Let's not leave one of our shuttles behind. Oh, wrong way. And that one goes to the smaller system, so... by trade, I'm actually a graphic designer, and that what you described there, William, that's exactly what I had to do for one phone company years before I came to Ireland. Literally that same thing. That was fun. I must say, designing a new document form, a new form, was quite interesting. I like that a lot. Can I? No, I can't. The shuttle is already out. We're gonna have to wait for the cycle to end. Yeah, I think my best man is actually in town hall doing similar things right now, Billion. Well, now I'm actually, my day job is in customer services, I'm afraid. So I work in phone support, essentially. Mostly tech issues, but there's also... Oh, fire. Just a damage, that's fine. There's no oxygen in there, so that can't be set alight. I work in support of one of the DNA companies. So I do support for, you know, sale of DNA kits, technical issues such as that, and so on. Yeah, the IT crowd is one of my favorite shows, and I feel a lot in common because of that show. The episode where the IT guys think that they have when Aunt Irma visits, when they think they're on their periods, that's one of my favorite episodes. Hello, Chiho. I'm not reading the second part of that name because it could get me into trouble. Because I work for a DNA and family history company, essentially I have to learn a bunch of things about DNA and stuff, so it is an interesting thing, and I do have some interesting things that I do every single day, but at the end of the day it's still just customer support, so as you can imagine it's not exactly always a positive experience, if you know what I mean. I think one of the freakiest calls I had was with a customer who after I gave them an explanation about their DNA results, were telling me that they could hear the voice of God in my voice, and that was hands down one of the weirdest things I ever heard. Draft quickly before the shuttle goes away again. Airlock in the hole is in the same place, might as well just put it there. Gio, what do you mean not again? I haven't actually talked about that as far as I remember on stream before. I might have mentioned it. Villain, yeah, it's most likely an Arabic name. Oh, more aliens. Come on, line up in front of the shotguns. Oh, They actually managed to get a few shots in. Aston. Come on. Okay, Aston is unconscious, but he's alive. So it's fine. I didn't get him out of the harm's way in time, but he's gonna be fine. He's just taking a little nap over there. He's gonna regain consciousness, and then he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. Aston isn't dead. He's just taking a nap. Oh, really, that was just one of the... You know, it's really true what they say, that there's all kinds of people in this world. And one of the quote-unquote benefits of working in customer support is you get to meet a good chunk of them. And I heard, in my line of work, I heard all kinds of things. Like really all kinds of really freaky and weird things. And quite often I would think, what set of circumstances had to come together for this person to have this outlook on life, or this to behave in this way? It's a very interesting experience. It's even more interesting when you consider when people get their DNA results, and you have to keep in mind, with DNA there is very, very little room for error. DNA is pretty much an exact science, and when you get matched in DNA with somebody, that means that you and that person are somehow related. There is no ifs or buts about it. You and that person are related. And some people are really ready to make any kind of excuse or explanation to dispute their own DNA results. It's quite amazing. There was one person who was convinced that the royal family of the United Kingdom was actually falsifying their DNA results, and that we were in league with them, and it's just mind-blowing. Really, that is a very, very good point. But there is also another thing, and that's called delusion. Some people are just delusional. Okay, we're done with this system. I sometimes wonder about those errors saying that 9 people are going to be left behind, because they're all aboard the ship, so who's going to be left behind? It refreshes almost immediately, but I don't know what it's based on. Okay, so there's some ice there, but I have plenty of ice, so I don't really need that. So let's just go to the small system. Oh, there's only 3 locations here. This is gonna be quick. We have a space station and some fuel here, so we're gonna take that. Yeah, Valinda, you make an excellent point, and I feel exactly the same way, because almost all of the conspiracy theories are so far-fetched. I'm simply convinced that people are just... they believe them because they're easy to believe. It's easier it's easier to consider that, for example, the pyramids have been built by aliens, rather than that we as humanity have the capacity to make that kind of an edifice. We were actually called. Would you be willing to help us? They asked for a 5 hull block. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that, my throat went a bit dry there. Yeah, exactly. It's inconceivable. It's inconceivable how we, as humans, could do something so magnificent as the pyramids. It's much easier to believe that an alien saucer came around to just help us build a large stone building. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. For me, that particular conspiracy theory about the pyramids is very fascinating to me, because up until the late 90s we actually didn't know what method Egyptians used to build the pyramids. We had a bunch of guesses, but nobody knew for sure. So at that point, believing in aliens doing it had a bit of a, let's say, make a bit of sense, because we didn't have a reasonable explanation for it. However, I think it was in 1997 or 1998 we actually pretty much conclusively proven how humans have built the pyramids, but the conspiracy theory still persisted, and I find that intriguing and depressing. How little confidence the human race has in its own abilities. Yeah, I've heard that particular conspiracy theory, William, and what shocked me is how much grip that conspiracy theory got in the media. I mean, there is no point to that. They simply don't have good candidates, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the case for most of the today's political parties. They just don't have good candidates. There is no conspiracy. Everybody is just incompetent and greedy. That's just it. It's as simple as that. But for some people, it's easier to believe there is some kind of a conspiracy going on. I guess it validates their own opinion or angle. I really don't know. These days I try to stay off politics completely, because you can't. It's one thing that people who are very into politics and very into religion and very into conspiracy theory, they all have something in common, and that is they don't listen to reason. You can actually give them proof right in front of them and they will still not accept it. So you just end up aggravating yourself for no good reason, and they won't listen to you. So it's better just to stay away from it completely, because you're just gonna cause yourself grief. Yeah, William, that's exactly it. Just a few simple questions. What would they gain doing that? Why would they do that? What would be the benefit from it? And most conspiracy theories fall flat when you start asking those questions. But for conspiracy theories, they actually answer those questions with some ridiculous and, well, let me put it this way. I don't know if you have seen this, but on Netflix there is a documentary that's called Looking for the Edge or something. I don't know. It was made by flat earthers, and in it they actually invested, I don't know how many thousands of dollars into this laser device, something. I don't know what it was, but they invested thousands of dollars into this device that was supposed to prove to everybody that the Earth is flat. They proved the opposite, and instead of taking that as the definitive proof that they are actually wrong, they just ignored it. It was like they just went like, this is interesting, and ignored it. And I'm like, you just prove yourself wrong.